بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises are due to Allah, and may Allah's peace and blessing be upon His Prophet Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you all to this important program which shall comprise 3 courses that cover the most important tenets that every Muslim needs to maintain and hold. First and foremost, we need to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making us among the Muslims. To be upon this great deen, it is a favor bestowed upon us by Allah Azza wa Jal. When we see so many people are in a state of confusion, disturbed by the so much infatuations that this life is leading people to. So once we do realize that we are chosen and guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when many are misled and confused, are in a state of disturbance to know what the true religion is. Once this is understood and perceived in a well manner, then we should display the due gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having that. So in this program, inshallah ta'ala, it is designated for the beginners in Islam, for new Muslims, and even it is also applicable for young children, 10 years and above. So let us take this issue seriously and hold and maintain these fundamentals in a very serious manner. At the same time, learning them, practicing them, and conveying and sharing these information with others who are in need for it. So the program will comprise 3 courses. The first course will be in the belief issues. It's called from the book My Belief, where it will cover the pillars of Islam and the pillars of Iman. The second course will cover the worship matters, specifically for ablution and prayer. So maintaining and learning the rulings of ablution, wudu, and the rulings of prayer. Additionally, we'll have the last 9 chapters of the Quran plus the first chapter of the Quran. So this course is designated specifically for Salah and what we need to do in Salah, what we need to maintain as rulings while performing the Salah. The third course will cover the etiquette and manners, or some of the etiquette and manners which were practiced in the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This being said, we need to understand that the Islamic religion is based on a important tenet, which is the oneness of Allah. If we look around these days, you will see the only monotheistic religion practiced on earth is Islam, where we see many of the available religions went to extreme in violating this most important concept, the oneness of Allah. In fact, the crux of the Islamic message is based on this matter, that Allah is to be worshipped alone without associating any partners with Him whatsoever. We do see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stresses greatly this issue in the Quran and also in the message of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And we as Muslims do see that the mean to understand and learn what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us is through the mean of knowledge. Seeking knowledge and working seriously in that venue is something which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah loves those who will go along such a path. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, like in Sahih Muslim, whomever goes along a path seeking knowledge, Allah shall ease for him a way to paradise. So the way to paradise, the quickest way to paradise, is to go along a path learning the Quran and learning the authentic Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So once we understand that and go along a path, we'll get to know that the Islamic religion is based upon these two main sources, the Quran and the authentic Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. The Quran is Allah's revealed statement to mankind, which is conveyed to us by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and it is maintained in the book that we have before us, the Quran. While the authentic Sunnah is the prophetic tradition, the statements and actions said and done by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And we do see that the Islamic scholars have given both sources great care in maintaining the means in which we make sure that they came through authentic sources and that there are no infiltrated misleading information or fabricated information is placed either in the Quran or in the authentic Sunnah. That's why we see the science that checks for the narrators and the level of these narrators in memorization, their credibility and trustworthiness in maintaining and delivering the information, the hadith and the Quran is greatly looked upon. So when it comes to the authenticity of the Quran, we do see that it is mutawatir, meaning that it is conveyed by many to many, and no one can even think of tampering with the Quran because it was preserved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like said in the Quran, and also at the same time Allah had assigned chosen scholars of Islam who worked hard in making sure that this religion is saved and protected and transmitted in a manner that shows coherency and perfection and no violation or tampering with its content. So when we look to the Quran and compare it to the other books, there is no comparison in reality, and that the way in which the Quran was transmitted to us came through a very stringent means where no one would dare even to change an alphabet, a single alphabet or a vowel in the Quran itself. We have millions of people memorizing the Quran, practicing it and learning and studying its content and making sure to even recite it the way it was recited by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And as for the prophetic tradition, in the same manner, the Islamic scholars have made sure that whenever the statement or an action is transmitted to others, they make sure that those transmitters are credible and that they have strong memories, and they compare even their narration to the others to check whether they are good in memorization, to check whether they are not adding statements of their own to the statement of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So that's why we have books like Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, who are specialized in transmitting the statements and actions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So this being said, we need to understand that in addition to the Quran and Sunnah, we may see scholars mentioning the consensus, meaning that rulings are based on the Quran and the Sunnah. And even when we look into the understanding of the verses of the Quran and the tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we look into the practice and understanding of our righteous predecessors, the companions and the generations who followed them. How did they understand the Quran? Once we see that they all came into an agreement in a specific ruling without anyone differenting from what they are upon, then this is a consensus where it's not acceptable for anyone later to come to question that consensus or even to dare and violate that consensus. So in this book, inshallah ta'ala, which is the first book, the first course, it's called My Belief. It's called My Belief. In this book, we'll go over the pillars of Iman and the pillars of Islam. The pillars of Iman covers the 6 articles of faith, which is required by every Muslim to believe in and hold, and these are matters of the unseen. While in the case of the pillars of Islam, we have 5 pillars of Islam. Those are practical things in which Muslims are required to practice and hold while accepting Islam. So based on these articles of faith, which are 6, and articles of Islam, we'll go over it in this first course, inshallah ta'ala. And due to that, we'll also make sure that we may add quizzes ongoing with some lessons and some of the courses where we'll have also a final exam to double check one's understanding of the content of the book. So I urge you to continue with this program and to share it with others in order for you to understand the true message of Islam and to make sure that you put it into correct practice, and at the same time we strive hard and do our best to share it with others. So stay inshallah ta'ala tuned with us, and inshallah ta'ala starting from next class we'll go over the first important issue in the book called My Belief, which is this book before our eyes. And inshallah ta'ala we'll have a PDF copy of the 3 books available with the courses, and those who are interested, they can hear and watch this program and all at the same time download the PDF copies of the book inshallah ta'ala. So may Allah bless such gatherings and such sessions, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it beneficial to the speaker and to the listener. So all praises are due to Allah, and may Allah's peace be upon His Prophet Muhammad. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.